Welcome back to this series where I level up characters to 100 using only level 1 skills. This will be my 5th character, and it's Magik, the Demon Queen of Limbo, who is the newest hero added to the roster for Marvel Future Revolution. I think Magik is probably the most balanced in terms of stats, and what I mean by this is by looking at her enhanced potential screen, you can see her stats are pretty spread out and not really focused. So you got some defense pierce, accuracy, stamina recovery, total damage, ultimate gauge recovery. I mean, you have HP for all 4 categories, but taking more hits doesn't really help, at least not at its surface. So a jack of all trades but master of none, which opens up the possibilities for different skill builds and makes her an interesting hero. Before I get into my builds, I wanted to highlight her ultimate ability. This thing does everything. Immunity, healing, decreases long-range damage. She gets her own sets of abilities. But what I didn't notice until much later, when I was closer to level 100, was this text here. The gauge will charge as the battle continues or when using dark magic skills, which will be important when I go through these skill sets. I guess reading the ability explains the ability. So as usual, I have 2 presets. However, unlike the other characters I've played, each set had a different game plan. So you can see in this example, by combining the Hydra and Hand ability, mobs are either in the air or knocked down. You can just pummel them before they get back up. Probably preferred you don't spam them and just wait for the 1 or 2 seconds so you can get as much DPS in as possible before. The second set was more around the black magic abilities, Master of the Abyss, and Hunter in the Dark. So a lot more damage over time effects rather than just straight damage from your soul sword. It's really effective against bosses because she's a melee character. You can't just stay and tank the boss without dying. So especially against Laufrey and Maestro, where you gotta move around a lot as melee. So I'm applying my dark magic here and it's ticking away as I have to run. So it's pretty effective. So the imps are really strong because they're it's just extra damage while you may have to run, but not really against bosses with heavy AoE. You can see if you mistime the ability, they can just die. And as mentioned before, using her dark magic abilities will increase her ultimate gauge quicker. So this build might be better if you can't kill the enemies within 1 or 2 skill rotations. So I think my skill set 2 is actually superior while leveling. For Training Grounds, I wanted to try something new because I slightly knew of the power of a character early on. So when I reached level 25, I went in, found the hardest mobs I could find, which was level 40, stayed for about 30 minutes, and I got 4 levels pretty easily. So that was really nice. However, I forgot to capture the item acquisition screen, but I think the levels are more important at this stage. You don't really get anything interesting early on. Expo! Tried the same thing at level 50. Found the hardest mobs, which were level 65. Spent a little over 30 minutes, but nearly got 2 levels. And yeah, here are the items that I got for that one session. And finally, at level 75, here are where things could have gotten better. Found level 90 mobs, spent about 30 minutes, but I couldn't really kill the mobs that quickly. I barely got half a level, and looking back, if I had tried to use my preset skills number 2, pretty sure it would have fared better. So at this time, I didn't know I would have gained more ultimate gauge using dark magic skills. But yeah, that was my mistake here. Overall, pretty happy with the Training Grounds usage, but because your time is limited, I still think it's better to use your strongest character to farm items. So I'm not going to go into stats this time. The stats do matter since this will be my 5th hero, so I'm a lot stronger than when I started this series. But I wanted to show you this active quest here. The newest hero, Magik, is here. So I believe you get 4 pieces at 3-star, the Mystic Arcana set. You also get some gold, some potential. So I'm just using the set that they gave me, which is a huge power boost at the start. And this other quest, Upgrade Support Event. I mean, they're literally just rewarding you to level for up to 100. Get extra items and companion shards. Since recording, I only have 4 days left on these quests, but if you haven't leveled her up, highly consider doing so. You are missing out on some good items. Well, that concludes how I leveled Magik with only level 1 skills. Really fun leveling her, and I'm probably going to make this my main. If you're into the meta at all, she is probably the worst character. But yeah, I generally think people should be picking characters they enjoy. I hope this video was helpful, and as always, thanks for watching.